My flight one day, one woman with her husband came in and they were like, my colleague just briefed using another language that is not English. It's not allowed. I could tell Una the posa.
I love the aircraft. It's always indicated, like
Yes,
they
every
have
signs are there.
Like, it's obvious. When I wrote emergency, every day is not an emergency. So
Yes,
I'm using
only-
this door only in an emergency situation.
So what are you looking for?
Ella, leave them in. I'm shy. Oh, I don't want them to know that I don't know anything. You're not supposed to know the things on board because you are not a cabin crew.
Yeah,
We don't expect you to know things on board.
it's okay to ask. That's
It's
why
okay
we're
to
there.
ask.
That's why
Always
we're there.
ask. If the person is close to you.
Welcome to SSD Podcast. I'm your host Ella with
Your co-host Queen.
And your co-host Janet.
This is Aviation. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Queen, what do you have for us? What's cooking?
So, guys, I'm going to start by telling you a story that happened to me. It was me actually as a cabin crew this year. Earlier this year, I traveled on I went on an international trip. It was a bigger aircraft. I've never flown that particular aircraft before, and I needed to use the lavatory, the restroom. It's called lavatory. On board, you call it lavatory, not restroom. So I went there and I could not open the lavatory door. But then I remember that there was a man that just came out of the lavatory and his seat is not far from where the lavatory is. So I quickly called him. I didn't want to bother the cabin crew and all of that. So I quickly called this man and I asked him to please show me how to open the door as a cabin crew.
So you were flying as a cabin crew or as a passenger?
I was already as a passenger, but as a cabin crew now,
Okay,
as an air hostess, I didn't know how to open the lavatory doors. So some people would start fighting, like drag the door, struggle, stuff like that. So me as a cabin crew, I know those things are wrong to do. So instead of calling the cabin crew, there was a man that could attend to me because he just came out of there. So
He knows how to open the door.
So I called him to please, and people were watching, but what to consign me? I called him and the man showed me. I was like, oh, thank you, sir. And I went in, came out. So that takes us to today's topic, aircraft signs, what they mean, and how to use the PSU. So in the PSU is the passenger service unit. That's the word. So the PSU comprises of crew call button, events, drop-down oxygen marks, no smoking sign, seatbelt sign, and what again?
the speaker,
There's a speaker.
You said no smoking sign.
Yes.
the event.
Reading lights, individual reading lights.
Individual reading lights.
Yeah.
So for the crew call button, do you have anything to talk about it? I do, actually, I do. So the crew call button is used to call the attention of the crew if you need their attention, because a lot of people don't know how to use the crew call button, or some people might not even know that there is something like that there.
Yes.
So they go by calling you by Miss, Madam, or or tapping you to your shoulder, your butt, or shouting.
Dragging your clothes.
So
something like
it's
that.
always easier to use the crew call button. It's above the panel.
Yeah, that compartment.
The compartment that is above your head, yes.
Yeah.
Comprises of some of the things.
Is there. So you
That
see
you
the
use-
crew
you
call
use
button
it
like
on
it's like a sign, like a waitress or a waiter
holding maybe a
holding,
tray or
yes, something like that. So always use it. When you press it, please do not press and then depress it. Thank you. When you press, leave it on, because that's how the cabin crew or the attendant is going to locate
your seat.
who is calling for attention. So, events. Janet, can you tell us how to use the events?
Okay, yeah. The event is also part of the PSU, which is the passenger service unit.
Yeah.
The event is also called air conditioner. That's what we
Yes.
probably in a layman air
Yeah.
conditioner. But when you enter
Aircraft
the aircraft,
AC.
aircraft AC.
But they're
So-
not wrong actually.
So okay, it's like a knob. you can increase the flow, you can reduce
Reduce the
it.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
you can
even
turn it
you can
off.
turn it to your direction. If you want it directly to you, you can. If you want it away from you, you can shift it. So it's
Yes.
flexible. It looks like a mini what's it called? CCTV. I don't know if you've seen those
Yes,
mini
yes,
CCTV.
true.
It
It's
looks
like
like a
that.
knob. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
event
something like that.
actually. That's the
So
event.
thank you, Janet. The drop down oxygen mask. Elad, can you take us through that one?
Okay, the drop down oxygen mask actually can be found two above your head. You just
Yes,
see
the
like a four,
PSU.
yes, you see something like four corner with lines by the side. That those lines indicate that something can just maybe pass through or penetrate. So that's the compartment for the drop down oxygen mask. And that one is usually released automatically when the
Cabin
altitude
altitude,
is at 14,000
1,000
feet.
feet.
So it just drops down automatically. But if it doesn't drop, you can just use your card or a pin and swipe or push it in. It will just drop.
Yeah.
And make sure to pull
Yeah.
before you don't, because if
Exactly.
you
So
don't pull,
it
it
does
won't
not release,
flow.
yes,
And
it
when
does
you
not
pull
release the
one,
flow
the
of
remaining
oxygen.
are already flowing.
Yeah, so
When you
just
pull one,
pull it down and then breathe normally. But if you're traveling with somebody, maybe a child, please
put
don
your own
yourself.
first.
Yes,
Don't say,
before you
I want to
don.
be the
Yeah,
hero. You want to
actually.
save your child. Put your
No,
because if you're
put
not
yours
safe,
first.
you
Your
can't
child is
save
not,
anyone.
yes. So put yours
If you
first.
are not
It's
safe,
important.
your
Put
child
yours
is
first
not safe.
before you put on the one for your child.
But trust
And-
me, I'm sure our Nigerian
Mothers,
mothers.
He said, my child, where are you? Take first. No, mama, help yourself first before your child. Oh.
Actually.
And
So
the
when-
locations where you can find the drop down oxygen masks. Your seats, right?
Yeah.
Your
Yes.
seats,
And then-
crew, and the lavatory. Yes, in
you
the
can find that one
lavatory.
too. For
In the
passengers as
lavatory.
well, in case you're in the lavatory while it happens, just quickly.
And we have 2 drop down oxygen masks in the lavatory. What is the reason for that? Mothers with babies.
Yeah, you want to go and
Yes,
change your baby's
you're
diaper.
in there
you
with
were
your baby
there.
and there's a decompression. When it drops,
could
you
just
have
quickly,
2 for
yes.
you and your baby. Don't forget to don your own first before
Before
you help
helping.
your child.
Advisable always.
Yes.
So seatbelt sign, please. Seatbelt sign, please. When you board and you've stored your bags, please and please, at all time, put on your seatbelts, please.
As long
The
as you
sign
see
is
that
also
light.
on. Yes, the sign is also above your head. Always put on your seatbelt.
Yeah. So once the light indicates,
takeoff.
means you should use your seatbelt. The only
Yes.
time that maybe you can just stand
When the
up,
lights,
when it's off,
Off.
that means
When
you
it's
can now
off,
stand up,
yes.
stretch,
but as
go to the lavatory
advisable,
and all of
always
that.
use whether
Your
lights on
seatbelt.
for as long as you're seated.
Sitting, yes.
Because you don't know when anything
Can happen.
can happen.
But the only time that you're allowed to unfasten your seatbelt is during fueling.
yes,
Yes. When
please
you're seated
always
and they are
unfasten
fueling
your
the aircraft on
seatbelts.
ground, do not
Fasten
your
your seatbelts,
The crew will
please.
always
Unfasten,
make an
yeah,
announcement.
No, some of
You
them don't
see
even
crew
listen.
making announcement, and crew will still come to the
And
cabin and check.
And then some of
Because
them,
after,
please
true,
leave it.
they don't
They
listen
are
because
fueling.
after the announcement and you come to check, they are all buckled.
Buckled.
Okay,
up,
reason
so-
being that there might be fire outbreak. So you're
Thank
already
you.
unfastened.
So
So
you
the
can
only
just
thing you stand
quickly-
up and run. That is the
And
only
yeah,
time
that-
you're allowed to unfasten your seatbelt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then no smoking sign.
Very, very important.
like you said, in our aircraft, everywhere is
No smoking. Don't go and hide in the lavatory under the chair.
lavatory is even worse because there's a smoke detector. They'll catch
Even
you.
capture
Even
everything.
electronic cigarette, we don't want
We
it.
don't
They'll
want
catch
it.
you.
Don't
We don't
smoke. We
want
don't
it.
even want to see smoke. Don't smoke, please. It's a no smoking
True.
aircraft. And that's why the sign is there.
Even aside the aircraft, the person sitting next to you might be asthmatic.
Asthmatic.
So how about
Yes,
you
please.
stopping the person?
Yeah,
from
yeah,
smoke?
yeah.
Yes, all those things are
I
not
have a minor what's it called? I had this experience, right?
Yeah.
I just sprayed the cabin, and the first passenger that entered was an
Oh.
asthmatic passenger.
Oh, wow.
So the moment she
He was
inhaled
still
it,
very active.
yeah, the
then.
moment she
Yeah.
inhaled it, it was wow. So we had to it became an emergency situation. I didn't plan for that. So imagine you smoking beside someone that is, come on.
That's true.
So
Please do
it's a
not
no
smoke when you're
smoking.
on board, please.
Exactly.
So we have individual reading lights. So the individual reading lights, you can only use it when the cabin light is turned off. Mostly
During
nights,
the dark,
during,
yeah.
yes,
dark
during
hours.
night flights.
Yes.
So you use it for reading, eating, and
Looking for something.
maybe you're looking for
That's why
something
it's
instead of
individual reading light. So that person is sleeping. Don't disturb him your light. Once you turn it on and you see that it's facing the person, turn it to face
Don't
towards
go and
you.
press the
So
call
you
button and say, please on the light. I want to read. You have an
you have
individual reading light
individual.
that you can
You can
use.
see that there is an indication, like a bulb,
Yes, like a bulb.
um, shining
Illuminated.
there. Yes, once you see, you know that that's the bulb. It has one bulb signal with the
Light sign.
light sign on it. Yes, so that's the reading light.
And we have speaker there for you too. Some of you don't
Listen
like to
to
listen to
us.
briefing. There's a
And you
speaker
know what?
there on the
They
PSU.
brought
Please listen.
the
So you
speaker
don't.
close to their ears.
Yes,
Yes, it's
like
there.
yes.
But they still don't understand. They always say, "Oh, leave them.
I
They're
did
speaking
not
their
hear
aviation
it.
language."
It's so
They're
close that you
speaking
can literally hear.
on my flights one day when I was still working for one of the commercial airline.
Yes.
So on my flights one day, one woman with her husband came in and they were like, "My colleague just briefed using another language that is not English. It's not allowed." I could tell Una the purser after this. Actually, the purser briefing, she's too fast with her briefing. So at that point, these people did not listen well. And again, that because she's fast,
They could
She
not
was
understand.
they
It was
could not
English.
understand. So these people were seriously arguing that
That she didn't speak English.
she did not speak English. I was like, but we can't, we're not
I
allowed
think,
to,
I
to,
think
to
the
use another
the
language.
most they complain about is the pilot.
Yes.
Even sometimes us, the pilot, we don't even understand.
We, the crew, the cabin crew, we don't
27,000
understand.
feet. Thank you very much.
Sometimes, actually, but most
But
times we
actually-
do.
But because the fact that we used to their briefing,
Yeah,
so
we know what
so
they're
we
saying.
know what they're
Exactly.
saying.
We know what
Yeah.
they're saying.
But anyways, there are good people that there are good cabin crew that brief very well. You just need to listen, and
Yeah.
that is why the what's it called? The speaker
Speaker.
is closer to you. So in case of we are passing any
An
emergency
information.
information, you need to listen. It's not like it has to be the speaker has to be far from you. We want you to listen and understand what we are passing. So it's also found in the PSU.
Yes. And the exit signs. You see exits and then you see some emergency exits. That
Very-
emergency exit, you don't have any business with it. It's
And-
only when there's an emergency.
Yes,
Don't go
that's
and
true.
maybe during disembarkation now we open one door there for you to pass. You see everybody going there, but you want to use another exit.
But
I-
do you know? Do you know what? Do you know one thing I love the aircraft? It's always indicated. Like
yes.
Yes,
they
every
have
signs are
signs,
there.
Like, it's obvious. When I wrote emergency, every day is not an emergency. So
Yes,
I'm
it's
using this
only-
door only in an emergency situation.
So what are you looking for?
Ella, leave them alone.
And my problem again is that hard track. There are some hard tracks you find on board the aircraft that they
It's
write
written
crew
crew only.
Only.
crew
Nah,
That
only.
is where
I want to
uncle
put my
and,
bag.
uncle and auntie want to put
My
their
Louis,
bag.
my Louis Vuitton bag. That's where I want to keep it.
And then sometimes they happen to have access to it, but you see, just looking at it, you know that no, this one is
This
not
is not
passenger
for-
stuff.
yeah,
because
passengers.
you see megaphones, first aid kit, oxygen
Yeah.
masks, and all of that. Oh, sorry, oxygen bottle, and all of
Bottle.
that. Why are you still pushing your bag into that place?
You know,
You're not right. You're not wrong actually, because the oxygen bottle has a mask attached
So
to it.
why
too.
are
So
you
they're all there.
interested in that? Okay, go and wear uniform. Go and get certified. Come and wear so that you know the secrets will be hiding in that place that you want to know.
Maybe
Go
it's
and wear
money.
uniform.
We're
Yes.
giving money there.
So sometimes it's surprising. Like,
yeah, actually.
so once I know that maybe you didn't see that crew only, but once you open it and you see those things there,
And
obviously
can I
they're not
say
passenger stuff.
something?
Just
Maybe in my
For
next
those of you, sorry, please,
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know how to read, because it's not everybody on board that knows how to read
Yeah.
science, right? Or know how to read normally. And don't hesitate to ask when
Yeah.
you're in need
brings
of
me
something,
back
when
to
you
that
need.
your story because you asked.
Yes,
Someone
thank
helped
you. Don't say, oh, I'm shy. Oh, I don't want them to know that I don't know anything. You're not supposed to know the things on board because you are not a cabin crew.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to know things on board.
It's okay to ask. That's
It's
why
okay
we're there.
to ask.
That's
why
Always
we're there.
ask. If the person is close to you, you can say cabin crew. But if the person is far from you, you can always use
And that
your
is why you
call
have us,
button.
ASSD Aviation. We are here to teach you, educate you on certain things. We want you to be a pro when you travel.
Yes, so
We want,
yeah.
we want you to be feeling fly when you travel.
Of course.
But you operate this, you do this one, you know, if your neighbor
See,
tries
let
to
me-
do one thing, say, no,
let me tell you
like
one
this.
story.
You're following
Actually-
us, so you should
I actually
fly.
flew as a passenger too, right? But then I've not started flying as a cabin crew, but then I've done my training, so I know what's
Yeah.
up. So I was seated at the emergency exit. So the lady kept her bag, blah blah blah. So when the other lady came and told her, you have to remove your bag, And the guy said, no, she cannot remove her bag. So I actually turned and said, this thing she's telling you is true. You know why? So she was like,
Trying to show that you said your license though.
so eventually she actually took it. But me, I just give her
that's
this
a
look.
nice
imagine
one,
flying for
yeah.
the first time and you know these things.
Yeah, actually.
Bruce Lee.
If you say, you don't say, we did this
Yes.
business, say.
If your neighbor is confused, he'd be like, no,
So
don't
do
worry.
you need my help?
Yes. So this is, let me teach, just
Press
take,
on, press
take
on.
like
Press
few
this one.
seconds. Say, this one is for this one. In case I'm sleeping, though, this one is for this one is for this. Don't worry, I'm here. You'll be feeling fly. When you're flying, feel fly. Because you are
Actually,
flying.
because you're flying. That's nice.
So
That's
guys,
nice one.
Don't be a newcomer. Mhm.
so guys, the word of today, before we call it a day, is aircraft kitchen. But it's not called aircraft kitchen. It is called galley when you're on board the aircraft. So on the
Galley is
aircraft,
word of the day.
thank you. So on the aircraft, we have forward and aft galley most times on the commercial aircraft. But on the private jets, I think it's always one. I've
Yeah.
not seen two galleys
Just
in the
forward.
just forward. But on the commercial aircraft, we have forward and aft, and we have dry and wet galley. In the wet galley, that is where you see water and sink. Why the dry galley? There's no sink,
At all.
and it can be used for storage of dry stock, stuff like that. You can
Yeah.
store some things there in there.
That's where we bring all the nice
Nice
good
words.
food that we give you. The food,
Don't
the
forget to go
snacks,
there
the
too and ask them for
pastries.
tea.
Yes, that's where
Tea
we
and
store all these
coffee.
things.
Ask them for tea and coffee. Just do as if
That's
you're going
where
to use
the-
the lavatory and then ask them for
That's
tea
where
and
the
coffee. They'll give
beautiful
you.
tea is coming from, actually.
So when you come in, say,
Mhm.
excuse me, can I come into your galley? I want to ask you a question. I say, can I come into the kitchen? No, it's galley.
Some of them don't even know that there's a kitchen. That's the word they use.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even know there's a kitchen
Who
there.
told
They
you?
don't.
They know. They smell. Whenever you're warming your food, it's always coming into the
So
garden.
they know that
do you
there's
know, do you
something
know,
cooking
me
somewhere.
and my friends will be like, I don't want to eat fish now because the fish go enter inside cabin. People go know see that fish at the shop.
Yes, na.
It's coming from the
It's coming
the
from
galley.
there.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from actually.
So that will be all for today, guys. Please don't forget to follow our social media handles: YouTube, Air Show with the Sky Divas, Instagram, ASSD _ Aviation Gist, Facebook, ASSD Aviation Gist, TikTok, ASSD _ Aviation Gist. Thank you.
Bye.